Been thinking about this story of Peter walking on the water. Um, I've preached about this, taught about this, heard other people preach and teach about this, but I never had this perspective of it. In Matthew 14:28, well, the whole scenario, look at verse 24. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. So they're in the boat. It's the middle of the night, and they see Jesus, but they don't know it's him. They think it's like a ghost walking on the water. I don't know about you. I've never seen anybody walk on water, much less in the middle of the night without, an iPhone or a Q-beam spotlight. That would be eerie. That'd be funky. Um, so what else could it be but a spirit, a ghost? When you think of it like that. Um, Verse 27, but straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Think about that. You've got this thing, looks like a man, but it can't be, because the water, you're out in the sea on a boat in the middle of the night, late at night. I don't know what time the fourth watch is, but it's either late at night or early in the morning. Still dark out, and you see this spirit, this thing, this being walking towards you. Now you got to think, there's no electricity. I don't know that they had a torch going. Maybe it was by the moonlight that they saw this being, this spirit, this man, from their point of view, walking towards them. And they cried out for fear. They got so afraid. I don't know what they were afraid of. There was a bunch more of them than there was of it. But, fear plays funny tricks on you sometimes. There's all of them in the boat, and there's one man. They're all probably about the same size. A lot of different perspectives here, but the whole scenario caused him to freak out because this ghost is walking to them in the middle of the night. And then Jesus, he says, Be of good cheer. It's me. Be not afraid. It's me. And then verse 28, the part I want to get to, and Peter answers him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee on the water. And Jesus says, Come. And the rest of the story, when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. And then, verse 30, he saw the wind boisterous. He was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cries out, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? When did you start doubting? Why did you doubt? I never saw this perspective. Charles Capps asked the Lord, said, Why did you call Peter out of the boat, knowing that he didn't have water-walking faith? And the Lord said unto Charles Capps, I didn't. And Capps said, But Lord, I know that you did. And the Lord said to Charles Capps, reread the story, reread it. And so he rereads it, what I just read to you. Verse 29, Jesus says, Come. Jesus told Charles Capps, he said, What else could I possibly have said? Peter said, Lord, if it be you, then bid me to come. And Jesus said, had I not said come, I would be saying that it's not me. I couldn't lie. He went on to tell Charles Capps, he said, Peter that day painted himself into a corner where I had to say, come. It was the only thing I could say in response, that if it's me, and he said it was me. And there was enough anointing and there was enough faith put into that just one word from Jesus to come, that it enabled and caused Peter to get out of the boat on the word. You know, it's amazing. Peter did not have water walking faith, but he did have faith in Jesus. He didn't have water walking faith like Jesus had, but he had enough faith that if it was Jesus, all Jesus had to do was say, come, and Peter could put enough faith in that one word. Now, I'm not saying I've attained this whole thing. Sometimes I get into teaching, and I believe this is the best way to teach, is to keep teaching it, teach it, say it, confess it, meditate on it, keep saying it, and share it with others like I'm doing right now, and the greater revelation of it comes. So I know I'm on to something here, but think about it. The Lord saying come was in response to Peter's request of, if it is you, then tell me to come. Peter painted himself into a corner. That's what Jesus told Charles Capps, to get Jesus to call him onto the water. And there was enough anointing on his word to come, that that Peter put his faith in what Jesus said momentarily. Though Peter did not have water walking faith, he did have faith in Jesus, and it was enough faith to walk on the water to Jesus. And we know that he had faith in Jesus because when he got his eyes off Jesus and he got his eyes on the waves, boisterous, and fear set in over the waves, over the fact that what am I doing here on the water? He had enough faith in Jesus that he cried out again to Jesus to save him. And there's something here about, it's not so much water walking faith, it's faith in Jesus. It's faith in Jesus. If you had faith in Jesus, and Jesus is on the water, if you had faith in Jesus, it would defy the laws of gravity. It would defy natural laws. It's an amazing thought. Keeping your eyes on Jesus, keeping your focus on Jesus, keeping your faith in Jesus will cause you to defy natural circumstances. I love this perspective. I've never seen it before. I've always seen this painted in one way, that Jesus comes walking on the water, and Peter somehow wants to walk on the water. Well, I see that perspective. I heard another perspective one time. Why did Peter ask, Lord, if it be you? Why didn't he know? That same perspective. Why did he make Jesus jump through hoops? Why couldn't he have said, wave at me 3 times? Why did he have to have this dramatic thing, Lord, if it be you, then bid me to come walk on the water too? I think this perspective right here that Charles Capps had from the Lord, from his conversation with the Lord, what else could I say but come? There's something to that. Jesus saying come unto Peter, because it is me. Peter had his faith in Jesus. He didn't have his faith in walking on the water. He simply had his faith in Jesus. Simply having our faith in Jesus. I think there's something to that right now. Simply having our faith in Jesus. will cause us to rise, to defy all natural laws, to supersede all natural circumstances, that no matter what is going on around us, our faith in Jesus will cause us to walk right over it, cause us to walk right through it. That's powerful.